give. Suppose something is holding you and you want to escape, you apply force but you're not able to overpower, then you give an impulse. Impulse is a sudden force that is given and is usually measured by, not by rate. Force is what? Rate of change in momentum, but impulse is measured by momentum. See, force is equal to rate of change of momentum, but impulse is measured as change in momentum. So the dimensions of impulse are the same as the dimensions of momentum. What is the dimension of momentum? Mass into velocity. So it will become mL t ⁻⁻1. So this is what it is. Okay. Now at the beginning stage, when you are just learning, I would expect you to take time and try to learn the definitions. It is very important that we learn definitions of the different words. Okay. What is impulse? What is momentum? What is force? How are all of them related? So another way of replying a moment of impulse is this. So when a force acts for a very short duration of time, the dt there implies a very short duration of time. So when you are hammering a nail, you are applying a force for a very short duration of time. So you are giving the nail an impulse. Okay. So impulse when a force acts for a very short duration of time, the impact of the force is called as impulse. Impulse is measured by the change in momentum of the body. Impulse is measured by the change in momentum of the body. So that is what we are learning. Okay. Yeah. So, so I hope you are able to screen is. Yeah. So, are you able to see my screen or no? Just one of you say yes or no. Okay, fine. Then I'll lose all the questions. Yeah, then you want to know what is torque. Okay, what is torque, and then you want to know what is torque. So I'll explain what is torque. See, as far as torque is concerned, torque is the rotatory effect of a force. So you will be learning this. Torque is the rotatory effect of a force. Torque is moment of a force. Torque is the moment of a force, and moment of a force is force into length, the distance. So it will become mL t⁻⁻2 into L. So that will give you mL² t⁻⁻2. So that is torque. Okay, torque is the moment of a force. You would have learned this in your lower classes. You would have learned this moment of a force. What is the difference between the reference point and the frame of reference? No. I just want to wait for a few minutes. I just want to explain some of the questions. These are all questions which are there in the worksheet that I have given. So I'm just explaining a few of those questions. What is the difference between reference point? Yeah, coefficient of viscosity. What is the difference between, I'm still thinking about this Harish's question. What is the difference between reference point and frame of reference? The reference point could be anything. Okay. Those of you who don't have worksheets, please message me. I'll send you, send me. Yeah, I'll show. So it can be used to measure anything. Say for example, nobody received the worksheet. Worksheets don't go. Worksheets don't go walking to your place. You have to ask for it. It's there in STG. If you go to STG, you will get it. Alternatively, you message me. Okay, you will get it. So reference point actually is a loose word. It doesn't have a exact meaning. What it has is that, suppose I want to measure something. Here I want to measure something and my scale is broken and it starts with some mm. So I'll change my reference point to some 3 centimeters and I'll measure from 3 centimeters. So this is my reference point. Frame of reference specifically means that you have a coordinate axis. You have a coordinate axis and everything that you are measuring from the origin. Now, in loose terminology, I can call this as my reference point. But that is not the right way to call it. The right way to call it is the origin of the coordinate system or origin of the reference frame. So that is a better word. But other than that, I don't see there is any difference between a reference point and frame of reference. I don't see there is any difference between them. Okay. Now, regarding worksheet, many of your friends have got it. So try to get it from your friends. Alternatively, WhatsApp me to on this number. If you WhatsApp me on this number, I will be sending it to you. Okay. So let's move on and let's see what we have to learn today. So today we are going to talk about, yesterday we learned about vernier caliper. And I explained to you how to find out what a vernier caliper is. And I explained to you how to find out the least count of a vernier caliper. Now somebody asked me, where do you use vernier calipers? Wherever you want to make more precise measurement than that of a scale, you use a vernier caliper. I can use a vernier caliper to find out the length of something. We can use the vernier caliper to find diameters of cylinders, radius of cylinders, and so on. So when your schools to start, they'll take you to the lab. In the lab, you will be doing some experiments based on vernier caliper. Okay. Now, as far as we are concerned, let's try to see what more is there to learn in a vernier caliper, and then let's move from there. So first I have to show you some photos of the vernier caliper. So here is a photo. So let me show you the vernier caliper reading here. So I have a reading here of a vernier caliper. No. Okay. Do you see this first one? Just look at figure A. Don't look at the other figures. Look at figure A. So in figure A, I have moved the jaws. After I move the jaws, I see this. So there is a main scale and there is a vernier scale. Do you see that on the main scale, I have 1, 2, 3 divisions. So 3 divisions means 3 mm. So the main scale reading is 3 mm. Then you try to find out which division of the vernier scale coincides with some division of the main scale. So you will see that 1 doesn't, 2 doesn't, 3 doesn't, 4 does. So the main scale reading is 3 mm. The vernier scale reading is the 4th division. That means we have moved such that the 4th one is now coinciding. And I told you the gap between the first one of the main scale and first one of the vernier scale is the least count. Second one will be 2 into least count. Third is 3 into least count. So here now 4th one is coinciding. So it becomes 4 into least count. So look here, this is 3 here. So 3 centimeters, 3 millimeters. Then now the 4th reading is coinciding and now my least count was 0, 1. So it becomes 3.34. Do you understand this concept of 3.34? Do you understand that there is a main scale reading and there is a vernier scale reading, and we need to add both of them to get the actual reading? So you will see that in this case of a vernier caliper, I first try to find out the main scale reading plus I add the vernier scale reading. How do I find the main scale reading? Main scale reading will tell me very clearly that it is so many centimeters and so many millimeters. Say for example, the picture that I showed you here, if you see, it is 3 centimeters. At the top you see it is 3 centimeters. Then do you see that clearly 3 millimeters are crossed? This is a magnified image. Clearly 3 millimeters are crossed, but after that you can't say exactly where it is. Now that part is where the error comes in if you did not have a vernier caliper. Now because you have a vernier caliper, you can find out to that extent also. How do you find out to that extent? I see that the fourth reading is coinciding. So because the fourth reading is coinciding, my readings will be like this: 3 centimeters. This is the main scale reading plus vernier scale division coinciding with main scale division into least count. Into the least count, because the least count is the distance between two adjacent lines of the main scale, vernier scale and the main scale. So in this particular case, 3.3 plus 4 into 0.01, so that will give me 3.34 mm. If you had an actual scale, you could measure only to 3.3 mm. You couldn't measure that 0.4 mm. So now we have exactly gone to the next decimal and we are now able to measure 3.34 mm. Okay, do you understand this? If they are placed out of place, won't the measurement be wrong? Okay, once again, sir, why is the scale not lined together? Sir, we can use it on stone to determine the radius of stone. Yeah, if you have a perfectly cylindrical stone, you can. Sir, your battery is dying. I know it is on charge, it is dying. If the battery dies off, then the class is over. So you all can go out and play. I mean, you can't go out and play, but you can enjoy. Yeah. I had like a lot of classes today, so the battery is not holding. Anyway, let us not waste more time. Let us come back. How is the sixth point equal to 3 mm? No, sixth point is not equal to 3 mm. Why are you going to the sixth point? What is the sixth point doing? The sixth point has nothing. Look at the top. That is the big line. The big line on the scale is a centimeter line. Am I right or wrong? Yeah. Then look at the 0 mark of the vernier. The 0 mark of the vernier, had it been on the third line, then the reading would have been exactly 3.3. But now, because it is somewhere between 3 and 4, now I understand that the reading is little more than 3, but little less than 4. Now the question is how much 4? So now for the next one, I look at the vernier scale reading. I look at that division of the vernier scale which exactly coincides. So I see that the fourth one coincides. Because the fourth one coincides, then what do I infer from there? That the vernier scale reading is 4. So least count is 0.01. So it is 3.3. Yeah. So I hope I'm able to explain. I mean, this is the best I can go towards this. How we got 0.01? In yesterday's class, we got 0.01. What is your problem, Harit? What do I do now? Yes, the worksheet has to be worked out and submitted. It has to be submitted before the end of this week. Okay. Now, where 3.3 came? Narayanan, did I explain that to you? That on the main scale reading, you see three big lines are 3 centimeters, small lines are millimeters, and had the 0 been on 3, the answer would have been 3.3. But now we have crossed that. Okay. Now, because we have crossed that, now we are looking at the vernier scale. So, first reading we look at centimeter. Next reading we look at millimeter. After we looked at millimeter, now we are looking at zero error. I'll talk to you later. First, let us understand the other things. Yeah. So after that, I am now looking at the vernier scale. Now, vernier scale, I see that the fourth reading is coinciding. Because the fourth reading is coinciding, it is 4 into 0.01. Yeah. Okay. I will show you the picture once again. I'll teach you how to do the least count again. You guys are sleeping yesterday. You didn't come for the class. Or if you came and then again after, okay. So here it is. Yeah. In the top, you are able to see this. You are able to see this. Three big line. The big line is the centimeter line. That centimeter line is divided into 10 small lines. So the 10 small lines will tell you that it is going from 3 centimeters to 4 centimeters. Now, had the 0 been on 3, then the answer would have been 3.3 millimeters. But I'm seeing that it has just crossed the 0, crossed the 3, but where it is, I don't know. So now we are going to the next decimal. So for that, I look the vernier scale, which is coinciding with this. Okay, so that is how I found out. Now, in this also, if you can look close, you can find out. You see, there is a main scale, there is a vernier scale. I kept it between these jaws. When I kept this between these jaws, the reading is showing this much. When the reading is showing this much, do you see that the reading will be more than, it is more than 4.9, but less than 5. The 0 is coming somewhere in between. So more than 4.9, less than that much. So now I want to understand what exactly is it. So I have to look at that vernier scale division. This vernier scale is slightly erroneous because please understand that it is not 1 centimeter divided into 10 parts. So it is much more than that. So this is just for demonstration sake. Okay, just for demonstration sake they have done. Next, I look at the vernier scale and see which vernier scale is coinciding with the main scale. If I look at it, 0 is not, 1 is not, 2 is not, 3 is not, 4, almost 4 is not, but because I see that 6 is perfectly coinciding. Yeah, 6 is perfectly coinciding, others are not. So this is just a hypothetical situation, just to explain to you how it is used. Okay, so if you understand that, it is great. I explained to you this. Now in this particular case, yeah, this is what I explained to you already now. Yeah, let me come back 1 minute. Yeah, let me check out what are the questions that you have. Yeah, 4.96, correct. Yeah, so let me go back and let me explain again. So whenever you use a vernier caliper, you are going to have a main scale reading. Okay, in the main scale reading, you will read it in centimeters and whatever millimeters. Then you will have a vernier scale reading. Vernier scale reading, you will find out which division coincides. So that the vernier scale measurement is going to be equal to that number, whatever it is, into least count. Now the question is, how do you find out the least count? So this I explained to you yesterday. If you look at any particular case, if you look at this particular case, that look 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter, you are having 10 lines on the vernier scale which are coinciding with 9. Ideally the 0 and 0 should coincide, but what will happen is, suppose you move it such that the 1 coincides. So that distance is going to give you the least count of the instrument. So the least count of the instrument is equal to distance between the distance between one division, the first division of main scale versus vernier scale. Now, in the vernier scale, usually 10 divisions coincide with 9. So, one division of vernier scale will be equal to 9 by 10. That is so many mm with 9 mm. So, the distance between them will become minus 9 by 10. 1 minus 9 by 10 is 1 by 10. 1 by 10 is 0.1 mm. This is equal to 0.01 cm. Okay, that is how I got this. In the reading that we saw, they showed us 3.3 plus 4 into 0.01. So this is how 0.01 came. So that will give me 3.34 centimeter. Okay, so this is what it is. Now, what happens? First, you understand this. If you have understood this, I will talk about zero error. First, please make some notes. Please make some notes if possible. Yeah, please make some notes. But I think you just take it easy. You just listen, take it easy. Hopefully, whenever your schools reopen in your class, they will explain to you. Okay, so if you are done, once you are done, then let me explain a few other things. That is the next thing that I want to explain. 1 minute. The next thing that I want to explain is zero error. Okay, so let me go back to my picture. Now, ideally, what should happen? Ideally, what should happen is the two zeros must coincide. That is, it should be like this. Okay, but what happens is, in reality, I may keep pressing it. Okay, so when I keep pressing it, the zero has come this side. The zero has come to the, the zero can be to the right or to the left of the zero of the vernier. When will it be to the left? When will it be to the left is when I keep on pressing it hard. Pressing what hard? Pressing what hard na? I'll explain. Though when nothing is there between the two jaws, when nothing is there between the two jaws, this goes that side, right? These two jaws will be together. So when the two jaws are together, the zero of here or the zero of the vernier and the zero of the main scale should coincide. But in reality, the zeros may not coincide. So there are two possibilities. This zero, the vernier zero, could be to the left or it could be to the right. Accordingly, we have situations. When will it be to the right? The vernier zero, when will it be to the right? When there is something in between the jaws, which is some dirt or something. So then it will be to the right. Then when will it be to the left? Suppose you keep on pressing it hard, and it goes and hits and then it makes a dent and then it goes further. So there are two possibilities that sometimes it may be to the left and sometimes it may be to the right. So here. So sometimes it is to the left, sometimes it is to the right. Now see, this is to the left. Vernier scale is to the left. That means you kept on pressing it. Now here, what it actually means is you are starting before zero. Suppose there is a race. I am starting from zero. You are starting before zero. Are you running more or less? Are you running more or less? You are running more. So the actual measurement that you make will be less than what it should be. Such an error is called a negative zero error, and the negative zero error is added. Why is it negative? Because it has gone back. Okay, So this is a negative zero error. Then when the zero of the vernier is to the right, then we call it a positive zero error. Positive zero error means in a 100 meters race, you are little ahead of the rest. That means you are going to run less, right? So that much amount has to be reduced. So here, when it should be showing zero, it is showing something. So when you finally land up, you are going from that something to the final measurement. So zero to that something, that measurement should be removed. So a positive zero error is subtracted and a negative zero error is added. How do you find out the positive zero error? Again, the same way, just find out which division is coinciding. The reading is 0, but third division is coinciding. So here 0.03 is the positive zero error. Now let me look at what is the negative zero error. Negative zero error is how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The eighth division is coinciding. So eighth division is coinciding means 0.08. So negative zero error is added, positive zero error is subtracted. If there is no zero error, happy, well and good. Can you please make notes? Positive zero error and negative zero error have come because of wear and tear. There might be some imperfections in the instrument. Zero error refers to the reading that the vernier caliper shows even before the measurements are made. So there are two possibilities, that the vernier zero is to the left of the main scale zero, or the vernier zero is to the right of the main scale zero. If it is to the right, it means that even when there should be no measurement, it is showing some measurement. So it is like I'm going to measure 20 centimeters, but I'm going to start from 1. So what is the final thing that I'll be measuring? I'll be measuring 21. So to know that it is 20, from the 20 I have to subtract 1. So that is why positive zero error is subtracted, and negative zero error is added. Okay. Yeah, screen is frozen. So can you give us the definition of zero error, positive zero error and negative zero error? I'll give you. Sir, will the answer be 0.88 for the negative zero error? For the negative zero error, the answer will not be 0.88. The answer will be 0 plus 0.8, because it has to measure 0.8. Yeah. 0.08. So it will be 0.08, while the positive zero error would be 4.04. Yeah. How to come the main scale versus vernier scale in distance between? Okay. Sir, can the vernier scale 0 be moved to the left of the main scale 0? Yeah, it can be moved. If we increase the number of divisions of the vernier, then we get more precise. Yes, absolutely. Okay, just give me 1 minute, okay? Just hang on. See, when a vernier caliper is not being used, the two jaws should be together. So here the two jaws are together. Okay, in the first diagram, in this particular diagram, in the third diagram, you see the two jaws are together. Okay, in this diagram here also you will see the two jaws are together, but not in every case will the two jaws be together. Sometimes it can be to the right, sometimes it can be to the left. Typically the measurement that I will be making will look something like this, and the measurement that I'll be making will look something like this, but this is just a small diagram. So let us look at a better one, but these are very difficult to photograph. That's why you won't get a good photo, because they are all pure stainless steel. Okay, because they're all pure stainless steel, that is why it looks a little difficult. Yeah, this I hope I'll find something here. Okay. So this is how again, this is also a hypothetical case, because you see the distance between them is so large. Anyway, so this is how you keep an object between the two jaws, and you keep the object. Now you see the 0. So this is 2 here. So if this is 2 here, so this point here should be 1.5. So again, not very clear, but it is showing something. Okay, let's look at it here. Yeah, so you'll have to understand this now. Please try to understand this. See, this is the 0 of the vernier here. That is the main scale. So from there, you'll be able to see the reading. Once you go to school, you will see the real vernier, or I'll try to show you the real. I'll try to make a video and try to show you. Yeah, this is much better, beautiful one. Now you see, on the ground, you have the main scale. Then you have the vernier scale. Look, can you tell me what is the reading there? Can you tell me what is the main scale reading? Please don't chat or don't put it in the chat box. You just work it out for yourself. After 2 minutes, I will tell you the answer. Then you tell me right or wrong. So please find out what is the main scale reading. All of you, please look at it and see what is the main scale reading. Then try to find out what is the vernier scale reading. Okay. So could you please see main scale reading? You can see. Do you see that the main scale reading is approximately how much? 1.3. Now, do you see that the vernier scale reading is close to my eyesight? It is showing 4. To my eyesight, it is showing 4. But some of you can argue, no, sir, it is 3. But that is fine. So that is where you see these are errors which are coming because of individuals who are doing the experiment, because there might be some eyesight problem. Okay, so now you see in this particular case, mostly it will have a 0 error, it will have a least count of 0.01. So the measurement that you are making is 1.34. Otherwise, you will never be able to make that kind of a measurement with using a normal scale. Okay, so that was a nice one. I hope you are able to understand that. Yeah, 1.33 or 1.34. Up is in inches, down is in centimeters. Nobody knows, Ashwin, when the schools will start. If no division coincides, it can never happen that no division will coincide. Some division will coincide. It can never happen that no division coincide. Okay, Pranav. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you are able to understand that. I'll try to show you few more pictures. So in my case here, what will be the 0 error? The 0 error in the negative 0 error, Pranav, will simply be least count 0.01 into the measurement that I am making. So the measurement that I am making is 8, so 0.08. So it is only 0.08, it is not 0.88. 88, you have to look at the main scale division. Here, look, the main scale division is still 0. Vernier is before that, so it is not even gone to 0. So we don't look at the reading on the main scale here. We look at the reading of the main scale at the beginning, where the 0 of the vernier is. Okay, so this is what it is. Yeah, so here the 8th one is coinciding. So negative 0 error is 0.8. That means this distance between the two zeros is 0.8. Okay, now in this case, in the positive 0 error case, the distance between the two zeros is going to be 0.03. Positive 0 error is subtracted, negative 0 error is added. Okay, so please make notes there. Positive 0 error is subtracted, negative 0 error is added. Okay, so that is done. If you are done with that, I am happy about it. You will learn more about it when you go. Let us move on. Let us not spend more time. So you asked me what is the definition of 0 error. 0 error is an error that is introduced in a measuring device when the zero of the main scale and vernier scale do not coincide. Okay, zero error is a error that is introduced in the measuring device when the zero of the main scale and the vernier scale do not coincide. Now, suppose you have the main scale 0 here, suppose you have the vernier scale 0 here, this is a positive zero error. Why is it a positive zero error? Ideally, this line should be here and this line should be here. Now, even without any object being there, the instrument is showing a reading. Now, because the instrument is showing a reading, it should be subtracted. It's like measuring 20 centimeters and starting from 2 and not from 0. So if you're starting from 2, the actual measurement is 20 minus 2, 18. So a positive zero error is always subtracted. Negative zero error happens when the zero of the main scale is to the right of the zero of the vernier scale. Okay, so here the distance between the two is to be added. This is the negative zero error. Okay, a negative zero error is always added. So please try to understand this. Let's move on. Don't worry, this much is enough for you to be able to do all the questions. In the JEE mains exam, they will tell you whether it is a positive zero error or negative zero error. Okay, so they won't ask you more than that. Now in the JEE advanced only, they will ask you, let us reach, we have lot of time for that. Once the school reopens, once you see a vernier caliper in your hand, you will be much faster. So let's keep moving on fast. And let's go to the next instrument that we want to do. We want to do a screw gauge. So we want to work with a screw gauge. So here is a screw gauge. So here is a screw gauge. So this is a screw gauge, which is also called as a micrometer. So this is a micrometer screw gauge. Okay, this is a micrometer screw gauge. You see the stud and the spindle. So the object is placed between the stud and the spindle. A micrometer screw gauge is even more precise than a vernier caliper. Okay, a micrometer screw gauge is even more precise than a vernier caliper. How is it? How does it work? Now, do you see that there is a circular scale? Now, on the circular scale, do you see there are some readings? Yeah. Then, do you see there is a main scale? Now, when you rotate the circular scale, you actually move over the main scale. When you rotate the circular scale, you actually move over the main scale. And here is a small question for you. Suppose in the circular scale, there are 100 divisions, and in and in 3 full rotations, and in 1 full rotation, I move 3 millimeters on the main scale. What is the least count? In the circular scale, there are 100 divisions, and if 1 full rotation, I move 3 mm on the main scale. What is the least count? Please understand, friends, I am going to move this part here. This part here, I am going to move. So when I move that, I will slide on the main scale. Now, if I rotate it one full time, I travel 3 millimeters. And my question to you is, what is the least count? Yes, Vetrivel, it is 0.03. I want the others. Yes, Javed, it is 0.03. Yeah, first don't worry about the questions. First you understand it, then we will go everything. So I will explain again. Yeah, I hope all of you seem to be understanding. So you see 100 divisions, 3 millimeters. 100 divisions, 3 millimeters. So one division will be how much? 3 by 100. How much is 3 by 100? 0.03 millimeter. This is equal to 0.003 centimeter. So which is more precise? A scale. If you look at a scale measures to 0.1 centimeter. Then a vernier caliper measures to 0.01 centimeter. Now, while we were discussing, somebody asked if the number of divisions on the vernier scale are increased, will the precision be more? Absolutely. So now what did we do? We brought in 100 divisions. And we brought in 100 divisions, and when we rotate 100 divisions, we are moving 3 millimeters. So when you rotate one division, you are going to move 0.03 millimeters or 0.003 centimeters. Okay, so when you do 0.003 centimeters, you will see that your precision of the instrument will be even more higher. Yeah. So in one case, we are able to measure 0.1. In one case, we are able to measure 0.01. And in this case, we are able to measure 0.03. Okay. So depending on the instrument, things will be different. So we will write down the pitch of a screw gauge. Pitch of a screw gauge is the distance traveled on the main scale on one full rotation of the circular scale. This is called the pitch. Pitch is the distance. So for the example that I gave you, the pitch was 3. So for one full rotation, it travels 3 millimeters. Okay. Now least count. Least count is equal to pitch divided by number of divisions on circular scale. Least count is equal to pitch divided by number of divisions on the circular scale. So for the question that I gave, the pitch was 3 and the number of divisions on the circular scale was 100. So mm, so it became 0.03 mm. Students, please focus. Please try to understand. Look at a picture. After the class is over, look at more pictures of how the screw gauge is. Everything that you want to learn, you can just learn it even by looking at the pictures. But otherwise, you'll have to wait till the school reopens. Then we can do experiments on this. We can take a screw gauge in our hand and then work. So least count is equal to pitch divided by number of divisions on the circular scale. Okay, now in the case of a screw gauge, how do we make our measurement? So we make our measurement by, again we'll have a main scale reading plus the circular scale reading. So we'll do the main scale reading as it is, plus circular scale reading into least count. In this also you will have 0 error. So you will have plus minus 0 error. So now you asked me what kind of questions will come. They'll give you the main scale reading. They'll give you circular scale reading. They'll teach you how, they'll give you the pitch. You will have to find out what these values are. We will do questions. You have in a worksheet, you have so many questions based on this. Okay, so this is how we do it. Now, let's look at some photos that I have here. So look, ideally, the two zeros must coincide. Ideally, the two zeros must coincide, but sometimes it may not. Sometimes it may not means what? Now you see, it is appearing as if something is there between the stud and the something is there between the stud and the spindle. Because something is there between the stud and the spindle, look, the zeros are not coinciding. So you are already starting with a reading. What is the reading now? Reading now is 2. So you are already starting with 2. So positive zero error is subtracted. So whatever you get from that, if you remove 2, you will get your correct answer. Now here, look, you have pressed, you have rotated it too much. So when you have rotated it too much, you are already having a negative reading. You are already having a negative reading. And what is that negative reading? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 4. So if it is minus 4, then what will you do? You will now add the negative zero error. Okay, this is rotated anti-clockwise. Yeah, this screw gauge is rotated anti-clockwise. Okay, so negative no zero error, positive zero error, and negative zero error. So yeah, in this case, the zero error is 3 units. In this case, the zero error is 2 units. Positive zero error is +3, negative is minus. So the same diagram, but shown in a better way. In this case, the positive zero error is how much? 2 into 0.0. There are only 50 divisions. You have to be careful. Here there are only 50 divisions. So the pitch will be different. You have to find out what the pitch is. Yeah. Now, can you tell me what is the reading here? The reading here is that, look at the main scale. At the main scale, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 divisions on the main scale. So that is 5 millimeters. And do you see that the 46th mark, the circular scale reading is 46. The main scale reading is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So are you able to understand this? Main scale reading. On the main scale, you get the main scale reading. On the circular scale, you get the circular scale reading. The zero error, they will tell you separately. Okay, so yeah, so that's all that I have for you. The rest, we will have to do problems. As we do problems, we will understand them better. Some small demonstrations I can still show you. Here is a question. Suppose on 3 full rotations of the circular scale, we travel 6 millimeters. One, what is the pitch? What is the pitch? The second question is, if there are 50 divisions on the circular scale, what is the least count? If there are 50 divisions on the circular scale, what is the least count? Can you try to please find this out? You don't have to write it in the chat box. You just do it for yourself. It's enough. Don't tell the answers. You just work it out for yourself. On 3 full rotations of the circular scale, we travel 6 mm. What is the pitch? The pitch is nothing but the distance traveled in 1 full rotation. So 3 rotations, you are going 60 mm, 6 mm. So 1 rotation, how much will you go? So 1 rotation, you will go 2 mm. So 2 mm is going to be the pitch of the instrument. What is the pitch? Pitch is the distance traveled in 1 full rotation. So if there are 50 divisions, what is the least count? Least count is equal to pitch divided by number of divisions. So pitch is how much? 2. Number of divisions in the thing is how much? 50. So it is 2 by 50 mm. So how much is that equal to? 2 by 50 mm is 0.04 mm. So it is 0.004 cm. So I hope you are able to understand this. Yeah. Message me, Tarun. I will send you. Yeah. Yes, we can rotate, but you have to. When you start from 0, you have to take it to the mean position. When you take it to the mean position, it will either be coinciding or it will go that side or come this side. So always there will be something. In the circular scale, the total divisions is 50. In this, the one we had is first 50. Yeah, I will show you the screw gauge. Screw gauge is used to measure even smaller things. So suppose you have wire. Suppose you want to find out the diameter of your hair. Suppose you want to find out the diameter of a wire. There we use screw gauge. Yeah, I will show. Are very interesting. Okay, sure. Thank you. When should we submit? By end of this week, please submit. My number I have written, Tarun. I will write it again. Okay. So let me go to the worksheet, my statement, my this thing. Okay, so we will stop here. I will show you the slides. You make a note, and then next class I will take up the questions which are there. Once I take up the questions which are there, then it will be more interesting and we will be able to understand. Before that, I will get some questions of my own. We will work out those questions and then we will work it out. Remember, positive zero error is subtracted. Negative zero error is added. Okay. Yeah. So I showed you the slides. Yeah. First slowly. Okay. This is from where we read properly. Okay. My number. Some of you were asking for my number. My number is here. Here, this is my number. If you message me, I will send you the worksheet. I have already sent to a lot of people. It is there in the STG. Your coordinators also have it. Here is slide 6. Excuse me. Here is slide 7. is 8. Here's the last slide. Okay, so that is done. Bye bye. See you again tomorrow.